Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a review of the new Krystian Zimerman Szymanowski piano music disc. Let's just come right out and say it. It's very, very, very good. I mean, what do you expect? The guy's a great pianist. This is fabulous music. It's so important when great artists do lesser known works, because that's the only way they become better known. And hopefully this will create some interest in Szymanowski. He's not the easiest composer to listen to because his personal style was very, very dreamy from the beginning. And then it became highly and intensely chromatic and difficult, harmonically, texturally, very complex. And then he went into more of a sort of folk-influenced Bartokian kind of mode. And all of those styles are late romantic, decadent, luxuriant. There are people who love it and people who, prefer something a little more straightforward, shall we say. I think his music is marvelous. I really do. And I'm just going to tell you what's on the disc and then say, go buy it. Because, come on. You can't go wrong, can you? First of all, I have to get the little bookie out here because we have to talk about one of these pieces. Okay, we have Preludes Opus 1, early works, and there are 4 of them, numbers 1, 2, 7, and 8. And I have to confess, especially as Zimerman plays them, which is very freely and dreamily, it's a rather droopy introduction because all 4 of them are rather slowish but they're very beautiful and disturbing harmonically. There's kind of this undercurrent of darkness that's really very, very cool. But there's 4 of them. Numbers 1, 2, I have that. What did I say? Numbers 1, 2, 7, and 8. That's where we are. And that's sort of the introduction. They're not long. They're a couple minutes each. And then we have the Masques. Now the Masques, 3 movements of Masques, Opus 34. This is considered to be his major piano work, and it is a major piano work, no question about it. And the 3 Masques have titles. The titles are quite wonderful. They are Scheherazade, and then Tantris the Buffoon, and then Serenade of Don Juan. Now, the first movement is the longest. In this performance, it's 9 minutes and 56 seconds. It can be almost 12 minutes. It's marked very slow and languid because it's Scheherazade. She's languid. So it's very languid. Then you've got Vivace Assai and Vivace. So 2 quick movements following. So he's not all droopy and slow. Not a bit. And the performance is gorgeous, and it was recorded well before the rest of this. It was recorded in 1994, but it was never released because Zimerman was looking to complete the disc with other stuff that was suitable to go with the Masques, and he only just did it now. So we have a very different Krystian Zimerman in the Masques. Well, different in the sense that I think he was a little bit more robust and less sort of micromanaging, shall we say? Although he's not really here, he's fine. It's that kind of music, it works. But it's nice to hear this earlier version of the Masques, this earlier recording, that is. It's not an earlier version. The piece is gorgeous, the playing is wonderful. What's not to love? The trills at the end of Scheherazade will just have you in a hypnotic state, trust me. And then we've got, a bunch of Mazurkas, 13, 14, 15, 16 from Opus 50. Now, these come from that later period, the more Bartoki, acerbic, folk-influenced, but still modernist, rhythmically modernist period. And they're wonderful pieces. Now, there's a complete series of them that Marc-André Amelin recorded for Hyperion, which are equally marvelous. And you get all of them. There's, I think, 27 of them. And they're just wonderful pieces. And I think you can't choose between them. I mean, if you have the Amelin, you're in really good shape, but there's only 4 of them here, so you should hear the complete Mazurkas. A lot of people have done the Masques, too. I mean, a bunch of pianists have recorded Szymanowski. I think, was it Martin Roscoe? He did all the Szymanowski. There's some complete piano music series going, and people do them. But again, even if it weren't the best performance, the fact that we have a major name doing them is going to be a big help for the reputation of Szymanowski. And frankly, This is up to Zimerman's usually high standard anyway, as I said. And the concluding work is the Variations on a Polish Folk Theme. Now, this is an early work, Opus 10, and the variations are a lot of fun. They're virtuosic, and it's based on a folk tune, and there's a bunch of them, and it's really quite characterful and enjoyable, and Zimerman doesn't, monkey around with it excessively. He understands it's an early direct work, and he's not going to, make a whole tsimis, as we say in Yiddish, a whole mixed up thing out of it. But the entire disc is just lovely. It's beautifully done. It's nicely recorded. And so if you're curious, and if you've been hesitating about listening to Szymanowski, this is an absolutely wonderful disc, because it does cover his entire career. From Opus 1, Opus 10, Opus 30, Opus 50. That's basically his career. And so you get to hear the entire range of what he did as a musician in really superb first-class performances. There's nothing not to love. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.